She's been there, done that, and now she's set for the big leap. On Duologue NXT, I explore how being the scion of the Lulu group had little to do with Shafeena Yousuf Ali making art a real calling. How does her canvas expand in discovering a new wave? Let's get her to paint her vision. This is Duologue NXT with me, Barun. Shafeena,
Yes.
good to see you.
Good to see you too.
This is going to be a very unique discussion. So you've done everything. You started with hardcore business coming from Yousuf Ali's family. You did Tabal's Food.
Yes.
You've done 2014, which is, I think, real estate,
Hospitality,
hospitality. Then you took your interest in art. You went and educated yourself in that field.
Yeah.
And then you came back and founded this RAI.
Yeah.
So this is now a profession or passion?
I don't think you can be a professional in the arts and culture sector if you are not passionate about it. So I think it is both a profession and a passion, which is amazing.
Yes, that is actually the best profession that somebody can be in
Absolutely.
when somebody is pursuing their passion.
Yeah.
So explain a little bit. What I understand is that it's a very unique 700 square meter space that you've taken. You curate artists, you train them, you hold exhibitions. So we'll talk about all those. Just give me a contour of this foundation.
So we live in the beautiful city of Abu Dhabi. Here, there is a very large ingrown kind of idea of art and the culture. The region is kind of like a melting pot where we have people from all over the world come. People kind of celebrate everything from Janmashtami to Ganesh Chaturthi to Christmas to Eid and to Ramadan. Everything is celebrated here in the city, which is really, really beautiful. When the idea of Riskat Initiative came, I wanted to open a space where there was space held for all of these different cultures to come together and to talk to each other. And we wanted a space where people could see, I think art is a huge window to be able to see into each other's cultures and their ideas and their passions. And I wanted to create a space where you could be able to see these
Excellent.
with each
And
other.
you just touched that. I feel art, any form of art, that's my hypothesis, that it is one of the rarest man-made concepts which unifies.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, and you call it cultural capital
Yes.
somewhere, right?
Very much so. So when you put, for example, an Indonesian artist next to an Indian artist, next to an Iraqi artist, there is a conversation happening.
Yeah.
And not just their works talk to each other, but these artists are talking to each other. And through this dialogue, real culture is created, and that's what we're trying to do with Riskat Initiative.
Cross
I
culture.
think.
You also curate artists, right? What's the model?
So what we do is we find either curators who kind of really tell these interesting stories, or we actually curate from the artists that we know and live in India or in the UAE or in the Middle East or around the world, to bring their artworks here and kind of showcase to the people of Abu Dhabi and even people who come to Abu Dhabi their works. So how we do this is by really creating what is the idea that we want to talk about. For example, our last show was called Being is Elsewhere, and it was the idea that here there are so many people who live in this country and call it home, but also call another place home. For example, like I would call India home and the UAE home, and for example, maybe London home because I lived there for so many years. But this idea is ingrained in so many people's hearts and lives. So we had this show that was kind of epitomed by a Zarina Hashmi piece, who kind of really talked about where is home and her identity.
So tell me, overall, what would be the business model, if that is a business at all? Finally, how do you make money, or how do these artists make money?
Right.
Do they come here only for their passion, or they finally have some profession or some means of livelihood from there?
Of course. So artists, I think, create art not because they can, it's because they cannot stop creating art.
That's right. It's an expression.
Yes, it is an expression.
Yeah.
So I think the artists have told me that, especially the artists who have taken a break from their work to do something else in life because they think that makes more money, etc., they have never been sadder or more depressed than when they left their art. And I think that's the sign of a true artist, when you cannot stop working. I think essentially what a true artist is. But then Rai as a model, one of my masters is in social enterprises, social impact from University of Cambridge. There, what I learned is how to create social enterprises. Social enterprises are enterprises that are aimed towards a social cause. For example, ours is to create significant impact in the arts and culture sector. So that is how do we support artists? How do we, for example, show new artists? How do we offer fellowships? How do we offer art residencies for artists to come and live in Abu Dhabi with us for 3 months, where we take care of everything from housing to visa to ticket to all of that. So we basically curate these shows. We sell artworks from the shows.
Right.
And the money goes into supporting these artists, from fellowships to residencies to artist prizes to mentorships to workshops, etc., etc.
So basically, I'm very close to art, as I told you, that I'm not a creative person, but I say that I create commerce out of creativity.
Right.
Because I firmly believe that if creativity is not self-funding, how will it be sustained? Somebody has to fund. Either it has to be funded by the state, or it has to be self-funding.
Yes.
So that's what I believe that you're trying to do. You're trying to give them a platform. You're trying to hone their skill. They're earning that money from their own work. Because art is an expression. He's not talking about his commercial upside when they're drawing something. I believe that there should be an ecosystem or somebody or a set of people who would be creating commerce out of that art. The expression continues, but at the end of the day, the expression through art should also bring them their livelihood.
Completely agree. And that's exactly what Rai was created for. It is created as a way to create this ecosystem for the artist to not have to worry about that, where we are able to give them what they need to have a livelihood so that they can express. We have an artist who is from Bangalore. Her medium is smell. How do you sell smell? So, I mean, these are the things that we are really looking at as an expression. And her smell that she has brought in here is the smell of rain.
So it's what? You're supposed to look at the art and you feel that the fragrance of that?
No, there's nothing to look at. You only smell it.
You only smell it?
Yes. On last year, we had a show that was completely based on sound. And one of the artists, for example, he had this incredible, it's called Open Group, and they're from Ukraine, and they had basically shown at the Venice Biennale this year as well. And they went around to many people from Ukraine and got them to make sounds from warplanes or guns or etc., because he wanted to record what that sounded from their voice. So it was a sound piece, and there was nothing to see. It was just sound. But that's what artistic expression is about. It's no longer about seeing something visually. There is 5 senses for a reason. And how do you kind of use those 5 senses to create and use these artistic expressions? We had 580 applications for people to come and live with us in Abu Dhabi for 3 months. Last year, we had 360.
So they don't pay. These are all pure play scholarships.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you make your revenue?
We have corporate collections.
And they have a target?
A sales target? Yeah, absolutely.
You came from a family which is almost like a legend. It's an $8 billion war.
My father used to make sure that his employees used to send money back to their mothers or their fathers, because that's who he saw waiting outside his door asking him, can you please give a job to my son or my daughter?
So coming back to your business now. So one part is the impact that you create. At times the impact is not measurable. Right? Do you have any kind of a measurable goal for? I understand that your objective is not for profit. It's for social. It's bringing about changes in our society for betterment. But did you have any goal in front of you?
I think the social impact and social enterprises, that's what it aims at, that it is measurable. So you put in measurable goals. For example,
tell me yours.
For example, at the moment, we have shown over 120 artists from all over the world in Abu Dhabi, many of whom have never shown in Abu Dhabi before. That is, I think, an impact. For example, this year, we had 580 applications for people to come and live with us in Abu Dhabi for 3 months. Last year, we had 360.
So they don't pay. These are all pure play scholarship.
Yeah, exactly. So it is sort of like a scholarship. It's called an art residency.
Residency. So their creation would get sold from your gallery? No.
So that is an added pressure that we didn't want to put on the artists. Sometimes the artists want to do research. Sometimes they want to create an artwork. Sometimes they just want to experience Abu Dhabi and create something out of that. So as long as you have clear, measurable goals.
So you get more applications than what you accommodate?
Yes, we only have 4 spaces, but this is what we do. This is what we as an organization do. We try to bring these people.
So how do you make your revenue? These people are coming, you're funding them, you're training them, you're giving them residency, you're giving them a platform. Then who pays for it?
This is what our sales team does. When we sell artwork from our other shows, the money from that kind of goes into.
So art selling, art proceeds, it goes into this.
Yes.
So you have a sales team too?
Yes.
And how do they go about selling these art pieces? To the builders, to real estate people?
We have collectors, we have corporate collections.
And they have a target?
They a sales target? Yeah, absolutely.
They have a sales target.
Yes.
Okay, so it's an organization, full-fledged organization which is running in parallel.
Yes.
So your Oxford degree is coming into play there.
Yes.
And your Cambridge degree is on the other side.
I think that's the point.
So you came from a family which is like we from outside. He's almost like a legend, Mr. Yousuf Ali, from where his $8 billion worth, and from where he started. I think he made his move to Abu Dhabi, to UAE, maybe in 1973.
Yes.
And where he has reached in 4 decades. So he definitely is a legendary figure. You come from that family. You're 3 sisters, right? So how did your childhood dinner table conversations go, or a breakfast conversation on a weekend? Did you talk about business with your 3 sisters and your father being there?
I think the inclination was more about kind of the impact, less about the business conversation. It was more about what did we do to support the ecosystem that we're trying to create. There was a point in time, I remember, my father used to make sure that his employees used to send money back to their mothers or their fathers, because that's who he saw waiting outside his door asking him, can you please give a job to my son or my daughter? And he wanted to make sure that they were. So this is the kind of, I think, impact that was made on me.
Financial independence, which is what I'm saying. That so do you think if there were 3 boys instead of 3 girls, the conversation would have been more around the business and creating something for themselves, financial independence, building from where he's leaving it? And because he was talking to his girls who were very close to his heart.
Right.
So then I think the focus was more on being good human being.
I think my mother has a huge part to play in it. So my father being who he is the magnanimous, incredible human being that he is. My mother, who is his silent kind of force, she really gave us roots in that sense. She is still, for example, the one who we are renovating a house at the moment. We're living with her. She's the one who still wakes up at 6 in the morning, making sure her grandkids have breakfast and making sure their uniforms are ironed. And she's always the one who's taking care of everyone in the house, making breakfast. And she learned how to make bolba, which is kind of, I think, the trendy drink between the youngsters because of her grandkids. She's the one who wants to make it for them. And the kids now refuse to have boba from anywhere else in the world because obviously their grandmother makes.
Do you want to grow up like that you would have that kind of attachment with your grandkids, or you want to make a mark for yourself in a larger arena, which is beyond your home?
I think both these things are not mutually exclusive. I think it is very much possible to do both in many sense of the word. The world is no longer tied by you as a woman have to be a homemaker, or you as a woman have to
Fortunately,
be.
but I still feel there are a lot of ground to be covered.
Yeah,
there.
very much so. But it's no longer, I think, mutually exclusive things. My kids, for example, are champions of what I do. They are the ones who, for example, if we have a gallery opening, they are the ones who are there in my gallery 2 days before to make sure, oh, is there anything we can do? Tell me about this artwork, talking to the artists and learning these interesting conversations. So they are kind of, I think, champions of me and things that I do, and are so proud of where their mom and dad do. So I don't think it's mutually exclusive to kind of say, oh, this is...
So you want to be that too, but you want to create an identity and
Yes.
make an impact in the larger world as well.
But
larger
also it takes a village to raise a child today, in today's world especially. You can't say that, oh, I'm the parent and everything that this child is coming in contact with is going to come from me. That's not the truth.
It's impossible.
Yes, of
because
course.
of the
It's a
digital
village.
world,
Exactly.
they're global citizen.
Exactly. It's not even just them or their friends and their parents. It's also the greater digital world, right?
Completely.
So it's the
and
value.
they'll have more influence because...
Of course. So it's the value. It's the value comes from not just me. It comes from my sisters, for example, their families and how they've raised their families.
In today's time,
Right.
kids will grow in their own direction when they grow up. Well, what's in our hand is that what we want to do with our life
Yes.
to a large extent.
Yes.
And you're very young. Tell me, it's a very fundamental question that if I have to ask you to give an order of priority between three aspects, which is your family, your profession, and yourself. I think these are the three units you deal with.
Right.
So if I ask you to prioritize this, what would be your order of prioritization? If you don't have an answer, you don't have to. I just thought that...
I actually do. I have a theory which is called the glass and paper theory.
Is it sometime there in your mind that your requirement is always a paper thing?
My father has taught me extensively. Like, he is never late for anything.
So I've learned from your father that even if he's there for 15 minutes in a
Yeah.
gathering, made full use of that 15 minutes.
100%.
So the perception is that he had been there for an hour.
Exactly.
It's a fantastic example. So tell me, where do I see you 5 years or 10 years down the line as far as your work is concerned? Tell me, it's a very fundamental question that if I have to ask you to give an order of priority between three aspects, which is your family, your profession, and yourself. I think these are the three units you deal with.
Right.
So if I ask you to prioritize this, what would be your order of prioritization? If you don't have an answer, you don't have to. I just thought that...
I actually do.
Okay.
I have a theory which is called the glass and paper theory. So you have these three balls in the air. Every day, you wake up in the morning, you have things that you have to do for your kids, things that you have to do for yourself, and things that you have to do for your work. For example, this morning, it was my youngest daughter's first day in school, which is something that I definitely don't want to miss. This is a meeting or this is an interview that I really definitely want to do, which might be a work thing. I have to go see my chiropractor today because I have back pain. That's a personal thing to do. These are three things, for example, today that I have to do.
Oh,
These
very
are the
brilliantly said.
these are the three three balls that are up in the air. My theory is if I have to miss something more important has to come. For example, my daughter has fallen sick, for example. That is a glass thing. I cannot let it fall and break because I might never be able to pick it up again. But if it's a paper thing, for example, this is an interview, is an extremely important interview, but if I miss it, it's not the end of the world. There might be another interview coming at some point in time, or maybe it's just not meant to be. It is a paper thing. So to be able to recognize every day when you wake up in the morning, every hour that you do, which are my paper things, which are my glass things that are up in the air. And if I drop one, which one can I drop? That's it changes.
So very well said. Nice example that you've given. It's a learning for me too, and I'm sure that the millions of viewers would be watching it. It's very insightful. Your coming 10 years, how do you think that Will there be an order in these priorities, or
I think I would say in the past 5 years, I have worked up to this theory in the sense of, yes, let's take each moment by...
Right. Collectively, how
what
did it come
happens when you are, I think, a working mom, and I think this is true for any human being, not just a working mom, but anyone, is to time yourself meticulously. And this is something that my father has taught me extensively. Like, he is never late for anything. His timing is perfect. His memory is incredible. He will walk into a crowd. He will stay there for 15 minutes, but he will make those 15 minutes count. He will meet everybody he needs to. He will remember everybody he needs to remember. He will speak to everybody he needs to speak to, and he will walk out in 15 minutes with everyone thinking, oh my God, he's been here for hours. He has met everyone. He has talked to everyone. This is something that I think I've learned from him, in the sense, even if it is 10 minutes, you are dedicating 10 minutes to yourself. You are dedicating 10 minutes to your work. You are dedicating 10 minutes to your kids. It is not about the quantity of time that you're spending with them. It's about the quality.
Quality and the efficiency also.
Exactly.
And again, you've given a fantastic example, which is what I keep saying. Doing more is living more.
Right.
And living more is living longer.
Right.
So I've learned from your father that even if he's there for 15 minutes in a gathering, he's met so many people, made full use of that 15 minutes.
100%.
So the perception is that he had been there for an hour.
Exactly.
It's a fantastic example. And it is something which is a practical example of a theory which I always had, that just planning, which is part of your time management,
very much so,
and efficiency.
Right.
So if in 1 hour you can cover maybe 1.5 kilometers, but in 1 hour you can also cover 5 kilometers.
Exactly. So this is, I think, what I've learned. So if I can plan myself, as in, for example, today my day is planned to the T. Thankfully, my kids are in on it, my husband is in on it, my staff is in on it. So I know exactly where I am at what point in the day today. And to be able to kind of stick to that, unless there is an impending kind of emergency in any of these 3 scenarios, I'm going to follow it to the day. So it's really about that. I think in the past 5 years, that's what I've worked towards, to be able to give myself more time. But in the next 10 years, I would say that the kids are growing up, they need me less. So I would say, yes, for example, for sure, more time would go into myself or my work, or either.
So tell me, where do I see you 5 years or 10 years down the line, as far as your work is concerned?
The dream is to actually expand right to the point that we become a huge cultural hub in Abu Dhabi, not just for people in the UAE, but also people from all over the global south, or the majority world, to come and spend time
with Kerala, that you've done something. You wish to come to Kolkata. That's
for sure. This is the cultural dialogue that I think is extremely important between India and the UAE. There is a large kind of, I think, social and economic and cultural element, but in terms of arts, there wasn't enough kind of relationship.
So then how would you measure that, as you said, that this also you're looking at in some kind of a business model where you have a goal, you have a target. So 10 years, if I have to say that 10 years or 5 years, Shafeena has done that 1, 2, 3 things, which is there in your planning. So what are those things?
So I think the plan is to kind of expand this residency program into all over the world, where we can take artists from India, from UAE, and send them to all over the world, or actually bring artists from all over the world to India and to UAE constantly throughout the year.
And you would be self-funding. I mean, you would generate that funding from your initiative.
For sure. It is also to create a huge cultural hub where we have artists coming in all the time, working there. We are able to create an extremely amazing fabrication lab. I want to create one of those spaces where performance art is an extremely important aspect, where we get performance artists from all over the world, and the majority world essentially, to come into Abu Dhabi and showcase their work as well, to be able to record that, do publications, do academic books.
So it's a long list. So I'm sure that you started with art per se, but you would expand to performing arts. And I'm sure that I would get to know, we would have more interaction. I would get to know about your plans. And we'll see that whether our lines converge anywhere or not.
For sure.
And thank you very much for coming to Duologue. Shafeena, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.